Welcome back, everyone. Now that we've gone through the whole cycle of secondary fermentation, this has been in this carboy for 6 weeks, and it's been clearing out, and now we are ready to move to the bottling stage. So, Matt?
Okay, so first, before we're going to get into the bottling stage, we've cleaned these bottles before, but we want to give them one last sterilization right before we're going to use them. So this right here is a bottle rinser. It sits right on top of a bottle draining tree. This is product number 4818. We're going to fill this up with water so that we can put some sulfite in there. Now you can't use Easy Clean or any of your cleaners that need 2 minutes of contact time. The nice thing about sulfite is it is an instant sterilant, and so it will instantly, when it touches these bottles, it'll instantly sterilize them. So if there was anything that happened to them since I washed them and sterilized them the last time, this will give them one last little sterilization.
And this is a pretty heavy dose of sulfites. The recommended ratio of sulfites to water is 2 heaping tablespoons to a gallon of water.
That's exactly correct.
And this is no more than a quart. So you've got...
It's actually about a half gallon.
Is it really half gallon?
Yep.
That looks different. All right.
Yep.
It's still, that's a lot of sulfites. And you know, your wine's going to sit in your bottles for a while. And you do not want any bacteria in there that's not supposed to be there. This is a great little tool. You're going to enjoy this. It sticks to the bottom, right?
Yep. So all you need is to get 2 good squirts in each of these bottles. Got to prime it to get it started. There we go.
All it has to do is touch the sides of the bottle. That's all.
And then we'll put them right side up in our cases. So it's just ready for...
There we go. Now we got some good spraying actions there. Because it hits the top and it just runs right down the sides.
And don't worry that there's a little bit still in those bottles when you start filling them, because that's just a little bit extra preservative. The sulfite we use to sterilize our bottles is also the sulfite we add in to give us that extra protection against oxidation.
And also, you know, it's a good time to mention that, you know, sulfites in commercial wines are significantly higher than what you're going to find.
Minimum 75 parts per million. A lot of wine that's meant to age for 8 to 10 years in your cellar, they'll be upwards of 150 parts per million. If you make our kits per the additives we give you, that's about 25 parts per million. It's going to keep you safe for at least a year if you're storing it properly. If you're going to keep it longer than a year, it's a good idea to add an extra 1/4 teaspoon of metabisulfite, which we will be doing at this stage in bottling, because I like to age my wine at least a year before I even start drinking it.
One thing you have to learn with this is patience. And you see how easy it is to do this with tools like this. We're sanitizing what? 2 dozen bottles in under 5 minutes?
Yep, we're going to actually do 2.5 dozen.
2.5 dozen, because we need 30. Between 28 and 30.
That's exactly correct.
Okay, we are ready to move on to bottling.
So at this point, some people like to just go ahead and siphon straight into the bottles. I prefer to siphon it from my carboy into a bottling bucket and then bottle from there. What that does is it gets you off the sediment that's in your carboy, and it makes it easier to go straight into the bottles. So that's what we're going to do here.
And also, a bucket's a little easier to control. It's not glass, it's a little more forgiving, and that's important. Especially if you're working alone, buckets are lighter than carboys.
20 pounds lighter, yep.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. There's a little trick I learned with inserting these. I always wanted to do this on camera. When I insert this in, when you're close to the top, what you want to do is you want to pull this out, and then you're going to put this in slowly.
So you don't overflow the carboy.
Exactly. Put this forward, going nice and slow. And then what it does with the plunger up, what you can do as you pull it out, you can slide it down and you don't have everything come out the sides. So what I can do is I can hold this in position here. Ready?
Yep.
I'm gonna give this a pump. Ready? There we go.
And you want to curl that hose around the bottom. Make sure your spigot is in the off or closed position so you don't have wine going all over the place. Now, in the 6 weeks since we got this stabilized, we've done 3 rackings, so there's virtually no sediment in the bottom of this carboy.
Correct.
And with that anti-yeast sediment tip that's on the auto siphon, it's going to keep this, the sediment from coming in here as well. You also have the optional stage of filtering your wine, which we do with all of ours, but
Yes.
for the sake of simplicity, since many of you don't have a filter, we're showing you how to do it from an auto siphon. We will also have a demonstration on a filter on a batch available as well.
So we want to get every drop of wine out of this carboy we possibly can. So when we're getting closer to the bottom, we're going to tip this and we're going to get that siphon at a low point. So we have as little waste as we can afford.
And just like in stage 2, it's important to elevate your carboy the night before, or at least 4 hours before you're going to be doing any work on it, so you don't stir up whatever sediment is left.
Correct. Now that we're getting down to close to the bottom, what we're going to do is we're going to tip this back a little bit.
And be really gentle. These carboys slide on you when you're doing
Yep.
this, so make sure you're holding it nice and
So
make sure
then
it's balanced. There
You'll
we go.
see you don't have to interrupt anything, and your carboy, you can even adjust it so it goes right to this back edge, and you're getting as much wine out of there as possible. 'Cause we don't like to waste what we don't need to waste. You worked hard to make this, so try to conserve every drop you can. Just about there. Just about there. Color looks beautiful. And what will happen is once this gets to the bottom, we'll be able to pull out the siphon and just drain whatever's left inside of it. Here we go. You notice it has not been interrupted yet. We're still good. We still got good pressure. It's coming right out the bottom, going right towards the wand. Now, exactly.
So to get the last little bit, we're going to go ahead and
Yep.
tilt it just a little bit more. It's pretty light at this point, so we're good there. Okay, so we didn't lose much at all, and you can see there's really virtually no sediment in the bottom of that carboy, so it is polished very well.
Mm-hmm.
As Matteo was saying, we don't like to waste any wine.
Definitely
Dionysius
not.
and Bacchus will frown on us
They
if
will
we
be
don't.
very angry at us.
And always drink a little wine while you're making wine too, so
I
they'll
think-
bless your wine.
I think we shall do that.
We call it the bucket pour. You never have exact bottles, so you just pour it into your buckets. All right, so it's ready to start bottling. And for anybody that wants to learn about the filtering stage, we have a link below on the screen for the video on the demonstration of filtering too.
So what are we going to we're going to pull a little bit out of this for what?
We'll pull it out of the spigot.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Beautiful.
Let's see what we got here. Okay, let's do you. All right.
So even though this is a bit young, it's going to need some more time to age. You'll be able to taste the flavor profile on the front end of your tongue. Just ignore the distractions on the back end of your tongue with the tannins.
Agreed. That takes time to relax.
Salud.
Salute, caro.
Wow, that's nice already.
And
It's pretty tannic on the back end, but it
Yep.
tastes good on the front.
very much so. Color's nice. You got real nice color there.
All right, so we're ready to start bottling.